Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday and happy first day of fall. It's here. I'm wearing a sweater. I'm drinking hot tea. I just finished a delicious apple and I hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. I was on the beach a week ago. So, what is this cold fall weather? Why am I freezing constantly now? So if you encounter me the next few days and I am crabby, this is why. Hope everyone's having a great week. Welcome to the week 3 of our class. And I wanted to take some time today to talk to you a little bit about what you can expect this week in class, to talk to you a little bit about Cengage and office hours, and most importantly, to introduce you to our midterm project. Yay! I know everyone is super excited to start talking about the midterm already. But I hope you'll see that I do my best to really scaffold it and support you through it, so it's not so bad. All right, so let's talk a little bit about office hours. Please know that I do hold office hours 6 hours a week, and those are regularly scheduled times. I'm definitely sitting here, I'm definitely in front of my computer, and they are great times for you to log in and say hi and to connect with me. Sometimes it's helpful just to text to make sure that I can send you the Zoom link to meet up with me, but please know that I am available to you during these times. Those times are Monday and Tuesday mornings from 10 a.m. to noon, and then Wednesday evenings from 8 p.m. until 10 p.m. So I've tried to mix things up a little bit for those of you who work different hours. Okay. And again, it's not required, it's not mandatory, but it's a good time to find me and to meet with me. Please note also that I am available by request. If you can't meet with me during those times, I am available to you at other times and I can be flexible. Just shoot me a text message. What else do I want to tell you about Cengage? I think that you as a class have finally familiarized yourself with Cengage. I think you've gotten into the program successfully and you've been able to access all the materials that you need to. If you are having any problems with Cengage at all, please don't hesitate to let me know. Personally, I've been, how do I put this delicately? I have been putting out many, many Cengage fires these past few weeks, most of which have nothing to do with classes and curriculum. But I do want to be aware if you're having problems with Cengage. The other thing that you should be aware of is we are now several weeks into the semester, so some of you might notice a little bit of a change to your Cengage desktop. Now, I can't show you what that looks like because I don't have access to it, but I do know in your Cengage page at the lower left-hand corner of the navigation pane, there is usually a counter there that says how many days left you have of your Cengage trial, okay? And even if you've purchased the book and you've registered, that still appears. It's generally 14 days that you have for a Cengage trial. So at this point, it's very likely that your trial has just expired or it's about to expire. And this is where you want to be careful because if you have not yet purchased the book and the access and entered the access code, you're going to lose access to Cengage altogether. And so a lot of times I see more problems with Cengage right about now, the end of week 2, the beginning of week 3. Okay, so let me know. All right, let's talk a little bit about what you're doing this week in class. For that, I'm going to share my screen with you. And let's look at this week in Blackboard. So this is our Blackboard page. You can see last week's announcement. I'm going to scroll down here to weekly units, and we will take a look at this week. So right now we're in week 1, 2, 3. Here we are, week 3, chapter 2, identity and the self. Each of these folders are pretty standard, pretty self-explanatory. As you scroll down, you'll see the overview. We'll talk about what you are doing this week, the learning outcomes in particular that we're emphasizing, and then that summary of unit activities. This includes another list of the assignments you're responsible for, okay? Scrolling down a little bit more under multimedia, you have a link to the chapter. You have a link to 2 different PowerPoints here. And scrolling down under activities and assessments, there's a chapter 2 quiz. There is the video activity, An Awkward Blind Date, in which you meet the always charming Cassie. I shouldn't say that. She's awful. She's awful. A little bit lower, the letter to your 12-year-old self, where I do want to remind you to emphasize the Johari window. Below that, week 3 discussion, and then questions for the instructor if you need to reach me. Okay. So a relatively short and simple chapter, unit rather, and something that I think you'll find very, very interesting. As you look at unit 3, we are specifically talking about identity and self. And what we're looking at in particular is how your personal identity, your personal culture helps dictate your goals, your motivations, and how you communicate with other people. And so we'll see that what we discuss in this particular chapter about yourself is going to impact all of your relationships later on. Okay. So the one problem that I have with this particular unit is it doesn't do a good job of reminding you that you're also responsible for the midterm. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate over to course projects here. And then I'm going to click on midterm project. Final project is there. It's just hiding. You can't see it there. But midterm project. So I show you this folder because if you are paying attention to the syllabus this week, we are looking at the midterm. And as part of this video today, I want to give you a little bit of insight into what you can expect for the midterm. So this folder in Blackboard, first of all, this is the project introduction at the top. Below that is step 1, where you'll submit your thesis statement, goal, and topic paragraph. Below that, step 2 is your outline. And I've given you some examples for it. Below that is where you would record your presentation, and then where you'd record, rather than submit the final draft of your outline. And below that is a video to help you. And I'm zipping through that right now because, quite honestly, I want to go back up to the top. In this first section here, where you can download a copy of the assignments, and we're going to look at that in just a second. And then below that, where you can download a copy of the rubric. Okay, but everything that's in this folder essentially follows exactly what's on this first page where you're downloading a copy of the assignment. So let's take a look at that assignment. Here it is. Midterm presentation, public speaking. So here's the deal, guys, and please don't throw things at your computers. Okay. This is interpersonal communications. This is a course on how you communicate and you interact and you form relationships with other people, but it is communications. And so we would be, completely remiss if we didn't include some sort of public speaking. So for your midterm presentation, don't throw things. This is where you are going to be doing a speech for your midterm presentation. Okay, so please be aware. And I'm telling you now, in week 3, you'll be presenting in week 8. So you have time to process that and work yourself up to the fact that you will be presenting a speech coming up. All right, so let's get into it. First of all, I want you to realize that public speaking is very, very common. It's something that people do all the time. And it's scary. I get that. It's intimidating. But with practice, with preparation, and with some good tools and skills, I think you'll do better at it than you really think you will. All right, so let's jump into it. Here's your midterm presentation, public speaking. Right here, I'm just reiterating how we need to include public speaking as effective interpersonal communication. And here is the assignment. For the midterm presentation, you will prepare and deliver a 6 to 8 minute speech on any topic. Okay, so I like to divide up assignments in this class and scaffold them and do them in different steps. So let's take a look at the different steps that you're responsible for this midterm. Step 1, thesis statement, goal, and topic paragraph. And this is due on October 4th. So you have about another week and a half before this particular assignment is due. Here's what you're going to do. First of all, you are going to pick a topic that you are interested in. And I encourage you to pick any topic at all. I've seen topics ranging from like really super complex scientific all the way down to something as simple as wait for it, eating a cupcake. And both of them have been absolutely excellent presentations. The cupcake one was really cute. It took a very simple idea, and talked about, you know, ripping off the bottom and making a cupcake sandwich. And it was a legitimate, excellent, well-produced speech. So any topic goes. If you're not sure about your topics, please feel free to bounce some ideas off of me. But any topic goes. I really encourage you to go with something that you feel that you're an expert on, or something that you're very interested in, because quite honestly, it'll be easier for you to write and to speak about it. All right. You don't have to pick something because you think it sounds smart. Don't do that. That's painful for you. All right. So what you're going to do is pick your topic, and then you're going to submit a little bit of information about it. In particular, I'm looking for a sentence explaining your topic. So you can just say, hey, this is what I want to talk about. The second one is something telling me what the goal of your presentation is. Generally, in this case, it is to inform someone about it, or to get people to support your ideas and your beliefs. Please note that when you're preparing this, something along the lines of all about cupcakes is not a legitimate goal, and it's worse, it's not a legitimate thesis. You need to have something more specific than that. The next one is a fully developed thesis statement, and I am very willing to sit down with you and to go over thesis statements if we find that it would be helpful. A short paragraph summarizing several of the main points you're going to discuss. That could even be bullet points. And then I'm looking for citations for 2 sources. Please note that you will need 3 sources for this assignment, but for this one, I'm looking for just 2 to start with. Okay, so that's the first step. Now, here's something that you should be aware of with this step 1. As we move through this project, I get to be really, really detail oriented, and I do my best to support you all the way through. So what may very well happen is you may submit step 1, and I may kick it back to you and ask you to redo it. Okay, if you see a 7 for a grade, what that means is I'm asking you to redo the assignment. So please just be aware of that. Doesn't mean that you failed. It doesn't mean it's a horrible assignment. Please read the comments. Generally what it means is I'm looking for something else. And I might say resubmit, or I might say let's meet and let's try to brainstorm this together. Okay, so I realize that that's a little bit frustrating, especially when it's the first assignment related to the midterm. But what I found is having that strong foundation is going to help you do better with that speech in the long run. Okay, all right, let's go back to my screen so you can see it, and we'll look at step 2. So step 2 is an outline. And I showed you back on this page in Blackboard, step 1 right there, step 2 outline. I do have a couple examples for you. So make sure that you check those out when you get into the folder. So here's what you have to do. With a speech, speeches and good speeches are delivered from an outline. They are not delivered from an essay. It's not something where you're writing a paper and then you're reading your paper. That's not how a speech goes. What a speech does is it asks you to prepare a list of talking points and to organize them like an outline, like you would do if you were writing a paper. If you look at the little picture of me right now, see this? This is my outline for what I'm talking about with you guys right now. All right, so that's what you're looking to do when you develop your speech. You will create a highly detailed outline, not an essay, no complete sentences, and you will go through and plan out the entire speech that you're creating and presenting. What I'm going to ask you to do then is to submit this outline to me, and that'll be by Thursday, October 18th. And what I will do then is go through and edit it and give you an idea of what your grade would be at that point. Okay, so this is a really, really detailed process. It's time consuming for me, but what I find is it makes for a better speech in the long run. So again, you'll submit your outline. I will edit it and send it back to you, and then you can use that. You can revise it and edit it and fix things to make your final outline and your final speech. Step 3, of course, is your presentation. And please be aware that this is kind of written for being in class. You are going to be doing a presentation. Because we are in an online format, you're actually going to be recording a video of yourself using MindTap. You have not yet done that, but in 2 weeks when we do chapters 4, and then in 3 weeks when we do chapters 5, you will be doing activities where you record yourself in MindTap. And so you'll have an opportunity to play with that technology and see how it goes. So it is a presentation. This is accurate. It's going to be 6 to 8 minutes in length. You will make it to your peers and your instructor. You do not have to worry about the visual. You do not have to worry about the note cards because we are in an online format, but you will be recording your speech and posting it for everyone to see. And you will be submitting a final version of that outline. Okay, so that is the gist of this assignment. Again, I know people get scared when we talk about public speaking. It's not a bad assignment. I think you'll like it. I really do. Let's take a look at the outline. Here is the outline, or not the outline, I'm sorry, the rubric. This is how I will be grading you. And when I do the edits for you, when you submit your outline, I'll be sending this rubric back to you. So first of all, I'm looking at your introduction, which should include a hook, something to draw us in, something to tell us why you're an expert, that's your credibility, and then briefly previews the main points of the speech. Below that, you need to tell us about your topic, your thesis, and there needs to be some evidence of reasoning there. Why have you chosen these main points to support your thesis? Here's the body of the speech. So it needs to be organized, like I said before, like an outline. It needs to have details. And at the very, very beginning, I encourage you to use too much detail and then trim it down. I find that's a lot easier than, making a very basic blank speech. Using transitions. And then, of course, the conclusion right here, having a closing, including your main points in your thesis again in your conclusion. Okay. Quick note, please don't say in conclusion. It's not a good speech. All right. You will also receive points for your delivery, eye contact, facial expressions, gestures, filler words. Are you speaking loudly? Are you speaking too slowly? Are you speaking too quickly? And so forth. And the fact that you have recorded 6 to 8 minutes. Visual aid you will not be responsible for because, like I said, in an online format, we can only see one thing at a time and we want to see you. If you have something else like a PowerPoint or a picture, it tends to be distracting. So I encourage you not to do something like that. Of course, this is also going to depend on the topic of your speech. The young lady who did the cupcake one last semester, she had a cupcake and she did demonstrate for us. So in that case, it made sense, but don't feel like you have to have a visual. And then finally references. And as I scroll down, you can see here, I'm looking for at least 3 sources and they are cited in APA format. So you will see this particular document. You will see this rubric twice. You'll see it first when I return your graded outline to you. And then you'll see it again when I grade your final midterm speech. Okay, so with this particular project, I feel like I should explain much more to you about it, but there's really not much more to explain to you. You're picking a topic, you're picking something that you like, you're coming up with a solid thesis statement, you're doing some of the background planning for it. Once that's approved, you're going to go ahead and start writing your outline. You're submitting the outline to me. I will go through and read and edit it to you, return it to you, and then you fix it and turn it into a beautiful, sparkling speech. Again, I know people don't like speeches per se. I know people say that their biggest fear is public speaking. I get that. I get also that I'm very practiced at it at this point. So it doesn't scare me as much anymore to get up and to do a speech. But I also know that there's a process to it. And so if you're able to follow that process and really do that planning and that background legwork, it will work out and you'll be absolutely fine. And what I find too at the end of this particular project is people go, hey, that wasn't that bad, you know? I did a good job at a topic I was passionate about. I wasn't as scared as I thought I would be. So who knows? You may find that public speaking is okay. And remember also that as adults, in particular in our professions and our careers, we do a lot of public speaking, you know, whether it's reporting out at a meeting or doing a demonstration for someone or even a sales pitch. We do a lot of public speaking. So, you know, there it is. All right, I'm looking at my list here, and that is all I need to tell you about this week. I just really, really want to emphasize to you guys that I am here. I'm available to you. You can call me at my office number. You can text me. You can email me, and I am here to help you. It seems a little quiet these past few days, so I want to make sure everyone is doing a-okay. All right. So I am looking forward to hearing your wonderful ideas for your speeches and looking at your thesis statements. And I hope you have a sparkling week and that it gets a little bit warmer outside. All right, everyone, have a great week and I'll talk to you soon.